You may notice on today's episode of the podcast that there are some construction sounds in the background. And that's not because we thought that would sound cool, but it's because there's construction going on at Coleman's house.
Yeah, they're putting in some wood panels on the stairway, so...
There you go. I feel comfortable guaranteeing that it still won't be as obnoxious as the Transformers franchise.
You can't guarantee that.
I feel comfortable doing it. Who's to say?
Who is to say? We are, actually, in this episode.
Welcome, everyone, to Afterthoughts. This is a podcast where we rewatch movies, we compare our first and second impressions of those movies, and discuss a related topic. My name is Joshua Kazemi, and I'm here with my co-host, Coleman Taylor.
Hi. I didn't think about how I was trying to do something different on these recent episodes till right before you said it was me, so that's what you get. That's the best I could come up with on short notice.
I think that's what Transformers deserves.
That is so mean.
Today we're talking about Transformers in honor of the fifth Transformers movie coming out this week. What? Craziness. It's craziness.
It makes sense.
Before we dive into our first and second impressions of the original Transformers from 2007, Coleman, do you want to take us through the plot of Transformers?
Oh, absolutely. So,
go for it.
Let's see. How does it start?
Should I make like mechanical noises as you're doing it?
Yes, please do. That'll enhance the experience. Yeah, those are real mechanical. Keep doing that. So there's an army base that's attacked by this giant robot who tries to hack in and steal a bunch of information, which it does, but apparently doesn't find what it's looking for. So now the world knows there's this giant threat of robots out there, but they don't. Well, not the world, but these people do, and they're trying to get it out to the U.S. government. While this is going on, Sam Witwicky, played by Shia LaBeouf, or however you want to say his name, gets a new car because he got good grades and has some money that he saved up. Now his next goal is to get the girl. And he takes, I don't even remember Megan Fox's character's name because it's just Megan Fox.
Michaela?
Sure. I don't know. We'll stick with that.
I think.
Takes her on a drive and the car acts weird and she tries to fix it and then whatever, they have a nice drive home. But then later, his car ends up just leaving by itself, although he thinks it's being stolen. But later come to find out it's also a giant robot. Who knew going into this movie it would be about transforming robots? And he's freaking out now. And then I don't even know where to go. There's so much that's just going into my mind about this plot. So I'll just jump to the point that Sam Witwicky and Michaela is what we're going with, get drug into this war between good and evil robots looking for a cube of some sort. There's a lot of other stuff in there, but that's where I'll leave this off. Because I think I'd rather talk about the plot in, a review.
Yeah, let's do it. So did you see this movie in 2007 when it came out?
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
You were excited for it?
Oh, yes. Okay. I mean, I'm just growing up with I've always loved Transformers. The toys, the shows, everything. Grew up. I'd say my generation, the most common one I grew up with was Beast Wars. There are others I watched. Beast Wars! There are other ones I watched as well, but I think that's my first introduction to it just because that was on while I was growing up. But I have watched the ones before that, the original from forever ago. I don't remember when. Then there's been some like kind of reboot cartoons since then. So I was super excited, and I would play with Transformers for like hours as a kid. They entertained me. Those and Legos entertained me for so long as a child. So I was super stoked when this movie was coming out.
So talk to me about your inevitable disappointment.
Oh, no. I loved this movie when it came out.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Why?
Yeah. What was not to love? You got this kid who goes on an adventure with transforming robots, big fight in the city, you know? He gets the girl, and at the time we were all like, oh, Megan Fox. She's so hot. Whatever. Teenage boys. We were idiots. And yeah. So, I don't know. I just liked it a lot. Plus, I was inclined to like it because I love Transformers already. So, I thought it was really cool, and I liked it. I watched it a lot of times, actually. Fun fact, though, it's the only Transformers movie I've seen.
Good for you. Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Badge of honor.
Thanks, man. Preach.
I saw it in '07. I saw it in theaters. I was skeptical. I don't think I was super excited, but I went to go see it, I think like opening weekend, and I liked it a little bit. I really like Shia. I've always loved Shia, and I was rooting for him. And I thought the movie was funny. I think Michael Bay is a maniac, but he has a lot of talent in terms of like a visual style. But even then, I remember thinking in '07, like several times throughout the movie, what is happening? Where is everyone? Where are we? I don't understand what I'm seeing. Because that's also just sort of his visual style. And I distinctly remember falling asleep in the theater. I don't remember when, but I did fall asleep. It was like this tug of war, you know, that kind of thing where you like wake up and it had been like 10 minutes and I went back and forth a bunch of times. And
you are crazy, man.
I don't remember if I've ever really seen this one again until this week, but I have seen 2, all of 2, some of 3, and none of 4. So my general impression of this franchise is what a waste of a really cool franchise and idea. A real waste. But I was looking forward to rewatching it because I think the consensus among Transformers fans is that this is the best one. Mm-hmm. So I was looking forward to seeing, is there really anything worth anything in this original?
See, when I saw this, I didn't ever notice that I didn't know what was going on. I just was like, oh, cool Transformers and fighting and stuff. I don't know. I think I was just biased at the time. Sure. I just loved Transformers. Also, it was the first one, so during that time it didn't have the like stigma of being this awful franchise that's just known for cool special effects and big fights. It was like the first one of its kind, and there's like a semblance of plot there. And so I don't know. I just liked it when it first came out. Mm-hmm. And enjoyed it. I still think it's a little fun. Like there's fun in it, embedded in it. But I guess we can get into our second impression now.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Right on there.
I think this movie is tedious. And it felt very much like a chore to sit through it.
Oh, that's sad.
There are some cool elements to it, and we can talk about them, but I just feel like for the most part I only had bad things to say or think about it. Like, it's just I the first thing I wrote in like, I don't know, it was like 10, 15 minutes into the movie, I wrote, story-wise, character-wise, it's just like devoid of creativity. It's just stereotype after stereotype, cliche, trope, all this stuff. And things like Anthony Anderson's character later in the movie, he's a hacker who is single, who's overweight, who lives with his grandma, who eats the entire plate of donuts. And he's exactly what you think he would be. Like, like they looked up, they Googled hacker and just checked the list off every box that they could find. And it's...
Well, it's not even just that. He's supposed to be... She said there's one hacker in the world who can hack this, and goes and finds him, and the only thing that he attributes to himself is, like, downloading 1,000 songs illegally.
Yeah.
Outside of that, he's done no other... Like, that's what first comes to mind when you're the world's one person, one hacker who can hack this file. I was like, come on, man.
Yeah. It's just
you had
lazy.
to have done, like, so many more illegal things than downloading a few songs.
And I think the whole movie is filled with stuff like that. Like every character, every moment, every scene, every joke is just like the first draft it's so lazy, and it just bogs everything down.
Yeah, this movie's not great. First of all, my biggest thing is, well, the plot is crazy anyways, but another thing is, what is Megatron's purpose for
I don't know.
doing anything he's doing?
I don't know.
I feel like this is the problem I have with so many movies, the antagonist's motive. But in this one, so they're afraid that he is going to get the Allspark to turn human, electronic, and technology into his army of tiny robots or medium-sized robots, whatever.
Yeah.
But they based all of their technology off Megatron. So, I mean, they mentioned that in the movie. So, how do they know that's Megatron's goal if that couldn't have possibly been his goal when he came to Earth? Like, I don't understand. I don't get it.
That's a great point. Didn't think of it. That's great.
Like, because he came to Earth, obviously the Allspark's there, so he at least wants that.
Yeah.
But how does Optimus Prime know that Megatron's goal is to turn human technology against them if all technology is based off Megatron? And, like, that came after Megatron was there. I don't know. That was the first thing, and I was like, this doesn't make any sense.
It would be awesome if Optimus Prime thought that was Megatron's mission, and Megatron thought that was Optimus Prime's mission. So they're both trying to stop each other to save the world.
Yep.
Interesting conflict.
Also, another thing about the Allspark, they talk about how it can be used for good or evil in the beginning, and like how it can have these good things, and they're going to try and save it if they can, but if not, they can't. I don't see it do anything other than bad. Even when they use it in that box, it turns the cell phone literally evil. Like, it's shooting rockets and shooting machine gun. What good does this thing ever do? Like, they say it does good. They say it helps them do technology stuff, but I didn't see it do one good thing.
This movie, because it's a bummer. Like, it's such a cool idea, and the CGI is awesome. Like, seeing them transform is so cool, and it looks really good. And I love Bumblebee. I think Bumblebee's the best part of the movie. Optimus Prime is great, and then all the other nameless Transformers, I guess, are great. Right? I mean, there's Jazz. I can't name another one. And I can't tell them apart ever. It's madness. But those elements are good. Like, visually, it's really cool. And Michael Bay does have a cool style. But the issue I take with it is he reuses the same 4 shots over and over and over again, to the point where they don't mean anything visually. It's just unnecessary. It's craziness. And I wish someone could be there to be like, no, Michael, here's what we're going to do. We're going to save that really great shot that you have for this important moment in the movie, so that it's only used once, and when we get to it, it's awesome. You know, just guidance a little bit.
I'll keep ranting about the plot here. Another thing. So they're searching after the glasses half the time, right?
Right.
Like, that's what they're going for. And then the glasses end up not being what even leads anyone to the Allspark. I mean, you can argue that that's what leads Optimus Prime and the Autobots there. But that, like, so they decide to not chase Bumblebee because there's nothing they can do without harming the humans, but then end up going where Bumblebee and Sam end up anyways. Like, they go to the Allspark. They would have never needed... The glasses ended up serving no purpose, because that's not even how the Decepticons got there. They just followed Sam and Bumblebee to where the Allspark was. And so the glasses were pointless in the end. This thing they chased for half the movie, even though it technically ends up leading the Autobots there because that's how they use it to get there, they could have just followed Sam and Bumblebee and, saved their comrade in the first place.
That's interesting. Weirdly enough, I think in a better movie, I might have actually liked that.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
It's kind of interesting because it's different. It's not what you would expect, like, to be constantly going after the glasses, and then the glasses don't actually lead you to the thing you're looking for, and you stumble upon it, or other things lead you to it. Like in this movie, it doesn't work super well, but in a more sophisticated movie, that sort of misdirect, I think I might actually be okay with it.
But that's the thing. I don't think it was a misdirection.
No,
and
I
that's
think it was an
probably
oversight.
why it fails. Exactly. Like, if if it had been on purpose, like they're going for the glasses all this time, and then turns out the glasses aren't what they really need, and whatever plot reason, it's something else, that would have been cool. But they still use the glasses. But if you had taken the glasses out and just made them follow Sam, it would they would have ended up being pointless. So they still technically used them. It's like the worst of both worlds. They still technically used them, but they didn't need to use them.
They could have been destroyed as a plot point to be like, oh no, now we're never going to find the Allspark. Turns out, the government has them.
Also, why did Megatron put the map to the Allspark on these dudes' glasses anyways?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was like a mistake or if he intentionally did that. I couldn't figure it out.
I don't either. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh my gosh. How do you feel about the fact that... Sorry, go ahead.
I got another one.
Yeah.
Also, why is the smart plan after they have the Allspark to go hide it in a city full of people?
Stupid idea.
I have not understood that at all. Nothing they do in that last part of the movie makes any sense. He's like, oh, let's go to a city. We can hide it in there.
Yeah.
No, just take it somewhere else. And I mean, the only chance you're going to have against the Decepticons is with the Autobots anyways. Why just bring more people in when you have the only defense you already possibly have anyways? Because even when they're trying to, like, extract Sam off the top of the building, they're like, oh, we'll send in choppers and planes. You know those choppers and planes aren't going to work. They have 2 flying Decepticons that, like, can't be destroyed. So why are you even trying that? There's just so many stupid things they did in that whole last part.
Oh yeah,
just for a cool
the
fight.
Soldier who suggests taking it into the city, Josh Duhamel, he must have gone to the same high school that Superman does in Man of Steel, where they teach you to involve as many other people as you can in these crazy disasters.
Yeah, I didn't get that at all. I don't see. It wasn't even really hidden. That you know who's gonna have it.
No, and Sam is running around with the cube for so long instead of driving around in one of the Transformers.
I know.
He runs so much, and that the final act is such a blur. I would love to sit down. To have a studio executive sit down or a producer and try to have them point out which Autobot is where, which one is which. What each one of them is doing during the climax, and they couldn't. I'm positive they couldn't.
They could tell you what 2 are doing, and I think that's it. Optimus is fighting Megatron, and then Bumblebee's on the back of the truck, and then everything else is a free for all.
It's craziness. Optimus Prime is awesome. I love any time he's on screen and talking, or anytime he's doing anything. He's so cool. But I don't think that that's because of the movie. I think it's the performance and just all the nostalgia built around Optimus Prime. He's very cool.
Yeah, he is.
But,
although I think his face looks so weird in this movie.
Yeah, the design of all of them, I think, is kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a little too, grungy looking or sharp and pointy. It's just kind of weird.
And I wish, because I can at least kind of remember the Autobots. I remember which one's which just because we get an introduction.
Yeah.
But the Decepticons are really the ones that just all mesh to me.
Look the same.
And it's really annoying. I wish we saw them more. Because even in the show, they're actually very interesting. Specifically, the dynamic between Megatron and Starscream. And for them to pretty much just be nameless antagonists other than kind of Megatron, it's rather annoying. I wish they were more than just people to fight. Robots to fight.
Absolutely. There's interesting conflict between those two groups. They've been going on this war for a long time, and there's reason behind that. If we could have explored it, if there could have been dramatic weight to the things that the Autobots and the Decepticons were doing, but it's just it's a war because they say it's a war, and then we carry on with it.
Yeah.
Also, how do you feel about the fact that it's literally, I wrote it down, it's literally an hour before we meet the Autobots? I'm
kind of fine with it. I felt like they were just kind of building up to it, and I kind of enjoyed that. They could have made it maybe a little shorter, but that doesn't bother me too much because you're building up to get to the Transformers.
But this runtime is insane, right?
It's true. Yes,
it's way too long.
And it would have been fine as a long movie if it was just a better movie. Let's do that. Because this feels like a movie that could be a long movie.
Sure.
If you just get it right.
Yeah.
Also, there's so many things in this movie that just grind my gears. How do you feel about the part where the fact that Megan Fox, Michaela, has a juvie record and he gets all upset about it.
Who gets upset?
Wiki.
Why does he get upset?
He just is like, he gives her a look like why didn't you? I think he might have even said like, why didn't you tell me, or like something like that.
Oh, jeez. It's dumb.
They've like actually known each other for, I don't know, like a few days, I guess. It doesn't take that long over that much time.
No.
Also, she doesn't know who he is, even though they've been in class since the first grade, or going to the same school since the first grade. And he just presented like a day before they talked to each other in front of the class, and she can't remember who he is.
Well, her dad's a real grease monkey, so she might just not remember any of that stuff.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
golly.
it's so bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, when he finds out she has the juvie record and like gets upset about it, I'm like, oh my gosh. First of all, you've only like, that's not just something that just like comes up on like the topics of you've just met. Like, oh, by the way, I have a juvie record.
Yeah.
Second of all, I feel like it's not that, like, you have a juvie record. You don't need to get furious about it. Especially, because it's related to her dad. Like, you find that out immediately.
Immediately, yeah. It was dumb.
Also, his parents annoyed me this time around. They don't usually.
Interesting.
But this time they did. I don't know why. I usually think they're a really funny part of the movie, but they seemed like kind of over the top this time. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, you're right. They definitely are. And I was just going to say, aside from Megan Fox, she's fine. She's not a terrible actress. There's one particular moment where she's like, she has her head down and she's like scared because they're like in the middle of the battle and during the climax. That's really bad acting. But other than that, she's not completely terrible. She's fine. Yeah. But aside from her, I think every other person on this cast is great and really good. And they just do the best that they can with the script that they're given. And with probably minimal direction. So it's like, it's a sad waste. Like, so many good people. Like, Bernie Mac is in the movie, and he's great. I know. So many good people in the movie, and it's kind of wasted.
I know. It's so sad. What
a rough couple years for Shia, right? I mean, Transformers, and then the next year was Indiana Jones. Oh.
Name a great Shia LaBeouf movie for me.
Disturbia.
That's all you got.
Yeah, it's true. Locked and loaded. Eagle Eye wasn't terrible.
Okay, don't stop. Just stop now. A few rough years there. It's like, when is he not? He's got like one good movie, and then if you count Even Stevens, fine. That's great.
Even Stevens, Holes.
That's true. He's got Holes. I forgot about Holes.
Oh man,
I genuinely do like just the computer animation, the CGI, and the action of this movie. And they clearly put a lot, it shows from the plot, they spent more time on that than writing this story. But I really do think that, at least for the first movie, it makes up for it a little bit. Because they did they did that aspect really well. And yeah, the plot suffers because of it. But if that's what you were going for anyways, to make literally a cool Transformers movie, I'm not going to say it's a great movie, but for one movie, I can see that's cool that you pulled off how cool, because when they transform, it's actually awesome.
Yeah. It's
all
cool.
The moving parts that go into that and just how real and cool it looks is pretty awesome.
And I like a lot of what Michael Bay does. Like, I think he's very talented as a cinematographer who gets called a director all the time. But I just wish he could rein in and focus his ideas, because he can do a lot of really cool things. There's this video, I wish I could remember, this video on YouTube that compares what Michael Bay does to what other directors try to do. And really, he succeeds as a visual director, as a visual storyteller, if he just knew how to use that more effectively. Because he's doing things on levels that other directors try to do, like copycats, like the Battleship movie. You know, it's like they're trying to be Michael Bay, but even they fail at what he's actually doing. So he does have skill and talent. I just wish he worked with someone who knew how to use it in the best way they could. Yeah, it looks really cool. I do like the way this movie looks.
And so in that, I say it succeeds, but it falls apart. Well, first of all, the plot isn't great, but then as they keep making movies and doing the same thing over and over, it just falls apart more and more.
Yeah.
Because that just can't carry a franchise. It just can't. You gotta have all the aspects of the movies have to mold together and come together. You can't just have a aesthetically pleasing movie.
Yeah.
Although I guess they do make money, so there you go.
Yep. It's true.
So I guess it can. If you're talking about revenue, fine. You win, Michael Bay. You win.
You always win.
Well, could keep bashing this movie if we want.
I have one more question.
Go for it.
When the Autobots are hiding from Sam's parents at his house late at night,
Yeah.
why don't they just hide his cars on the street?
Cause they're in a rush. Remember, they really want those glasses. They just couldn't wait anymore.
You're literally designed to be like the best at hiding. That's so dumb. Okay, that's fine. That was it.
That was it?
Yeah.
No more?
I can read off the Twitter poll if we want.
Do it.
Okay. So Transformers 2007 ... Option 1. More than meets the eye.
Yes. Nice.
Yeah. Option 2. Explosion in all caps. And option 3. Commercials in disguise.
That's funny.
And here are the results. 17% said more than meets the eye.
Oh.
Which I'm thinking means they liked it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. 33% said explosion. And 50% said commercials in disguise.
Well, there you go.
Here you go. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Should we move into topic time?
Let's do it.
Okay. Michael, this could be the only question I ask for topic time. How would you fix this franchise?
Start over.
Just okay, the reboot. That's a legit answer and solution to this problem. Just start over.
Genuinely, I would say start over and focus on your plot. We've seen that you can make really cool animations. You can craft these robots, and we've seen them transform in cool ways. We know you can pull it off visually. Let's see you pull it off plot wise. Because I mean, we had a great cast in this one, so it's not just the cast. I think if you just tighten up the script a lot,
Yeah.
this movie could succeed on many levels. I would even say make it, I don't want to say dark, obviously. That's way overplayed at this point. But just like a little, I don't know, a little tighter, a little closer, a little, I don't want to say grungier, but just like more than just good versus evil. Like actual conflicting morals going on. And I don't know, there's just so many tiny relationships going on. Like I mentioned, between Megatron and Starscream, they've always got this kind of, like Starscream wants to be Megatron but doesn't, and listens to Megatron as well. Just if we focus on like the relationships between the Transformers, and then also between the Transformers and the humans, rather than just having this huge blockbuster action movie. I think it would be cool to focus on the actual relationships and conflicting interests, and that would be cool.
Yeah.
What do you think? What would be your best way to...
I have a lot of different ideas, I guess. I think it would be really fun to see Shia come back.
Oh, I do too.
If you brought Shia back and you brought along with you a very talented screenwriter, and you wrote the script first, I think. Write the script first before you start production, and really base everything you're going to do on this, hopefully a good, tight script. And you bring Shia back, and maybe even like, I don't know. I have way too many ideas. But if you sort of ground it, like if it's not total chaos and mayhem, and maybe it's like 2 hours long max, and it's like you said, more personal conflicts and smaller stakes, and really just try to do something different with these characters in this world. But I'm also thinking, like, what if they just left Earth? That would be cool.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
would love to see a Cybertron kind of thing going on.
Right. Yeah. I think that would be really cool as well. Or even like go as far as like there are no humans in this next Transformers movie. It's just Autobots and Decepticons. It's Cybertron. It's space. Cool.
Yeah, like a prequel Cybertron movie of why Cybertron fell. Like, was Megatron ever good, or was he just always evil? Which that would be boring. Like, what made Megatron become bad? Or how are there bad ones? Also, fix the Allspark, because if you're going to use that, because it's broken. It's not a good plot point.
But at this point, is this just like an animated movie? It's like a CGI animated movie. What would they be shooting? I don't know.
Just green screen.
Yeah. That's funny.
I mean, they've done it before though.
Yeah,
There's entire scenes of Avatar without humans.
that's true.
Might as well.
Do you think bringing in a new director would be all that different?
What do you mean?
Like if we did Transformers 6 and we just switched Michael Bay out with someone else, do you think that would make enough of a difference to make this franchise work?
Who are we switching it with?
I don't know.
I don't think you could take the current franchise and put a new director in for the 6th one.
Yeah.
And really, I don't think that would change enough. Mm-hmm. If anything, that would make it worse, just because it'd be so different. If you're going to bring in a new director, I'd say that's where you would especially need a reboot.
Mm-hmm. And honestly,
but if you're going to bring Shia back,
yeah,
then we can do a 6th one.
Mm-hmm. And I want to see Michael Bay do it well. I want to see him succeed. And I want to see like his style and his version of the Transformers, but as a good movie.
I would love a great Transformers movie.
Yeah, it's like a couple weeks ago when we were talking about Planet of the Apes versus Transformers, and I said I'm way more excited for Planet of the Apes, and then you said, what if they both get 90% Rotten Tomatoes? And I immediately switched my answer to Transformers, because a good Transformers movie would be awesome.
We can only dream.
So, second question. What I think they're planning spin-offs soon for Transformers. So, what would you want to see spun off of this franchise?
Well, I know the prequel isn't really a spin-off, but I would genuinely like to see a prequel of Cybertron. I don't know. I think a Bumblebee spin-off would be cool.
Ooh.
I also haven't seen any of the other movies, so I don't know where they're at right now.
Yeah, plot-wise, who knows? I don't know.
Beast Wars spin-off, duh.
Yup, that's what I've been waiting to say. Beast Wars. Would be awesome.
Although that wouldn't make any sense.
No.
Because Optimus is in that, so what, has he been to Earth before? That makes no sense.
I don't know.
But I'm fine with it.
Me too.
Did you ever see the sequel series to Beast Wars?
What was it called?
I don't remember, but they make it back to Cybertron and become like normal robots again.
Yeah, I remember the last episode of Beast Wars where they get to Cybertron, but yeah, I don't think I watched further than that.
And Megatron becomes like a dragon. It's pretty sweet.
So you haven't seen any other movies? Do you know that are you aware that there are Dinobots?
Well, yeah, I mean there were trailers for that Age of Extinction movie forever.
Yeah. Okay, this could be my final question. Even if a good one comes out, are we burned out on seeing Transformers? Like I guess we answered this question already because we've talked about things we'd be excited to see. But do you think like these if Transformers movies started to turn great, do you think everybody would still be on board? Are we ever going to get burned out on seeing things transform into robots?
I think it depends. I don't know. I mean, I know some people are, but I'm not tired of Star Wars yet.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll see in a few years if I am. I think it really depends on if they just keep doing this same plot over and over, yeah, I think I'll get bored.
Yeah.
Star Wars is also just it's a continuing story though, while Transformers never feels like that.
No.
Each plot is contained within its own movie, and then the next sequel is just another add-on.
Yeah. While
each trilogy of Star Wars is a story, like all three are telling a story. Mm-hmm. I especially think with the one, honestly think if we're going to get back into Transformers and make something awesome out of it, they just have to start over because of what they've done. Even if the next one is awesome, that's all I think that's going to be. It's going to be another or an actual awesome Transformers movie. Mm. But I think if you want to make an actually great franchise, you'd have to start over.
Yeah.
There's too much bad in this franchise to...
So no more Michael Bay, no more Shia, just start over.
Or you could do Michael Bay as long as he focuses on the plot and not...
But then they would look the same still. And it would be very confusing.
I don't know. I guess we'll see. As Transformers movies keep coming out over and over. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess that's it.
That's the show.
Transformers.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. We really appreciate it. If you want to keep supporting the podcast, it'd be awesome if you could share this podcast with a friend. Send it to someone you know who loves Transformers or movies or whatever. That'd be great. You could write us a review on iTunes. that would be awesome. We'd really appreciate that. And next week we are talking about Despicable Me from 2010. So watch that and tune back in. We're going to talk about our first and second impressions and a related topic. You know the show. It'll be great.
You know how it goes.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yep, see y'all.
See ya.